Again, I want to say thank you so much for coming to the Where's Our Restitution rally and march. This is super exciting. So my name is Laura and I live outside of Boston. I organize with a group called Fracks, Four River Residents Against Compressor Station, and we are working to stop Spectra from building a compressor station and a pipeline in my town, which is why I'm also so excited to be here with all of you. And I hear that there are people from 11 states, which is incredible. So yeah, it's amazing to see so many people coming together to fight back. You know, we need to tell Spectra that we don't want fracked gas or any gas infrastructure here in Burrillville or anywhere else. So it's incredible for us to all come together and show our power, because that's exactly what they don't want us to do. They don't want us to come together and fight back and organize. And we're going to show them, you know what, we don't care, we're going to fight back. You might have the money, but we have the people power. So today we have a great lineup of speakers who are just going to give a little bit more background on what's going on here. And so we are going to start off with Cathy, who actually lives in Burrillville, and she's spent most of her life here. And she actually lives less than a mile from the compressor station and the proposed power plant. And so she organizes with BASE, which stands for Burrillville Against Spectra Expansion. So she's going to come up and speak to you guys about that.
Hi everybody, thank you very much. Hi everybody, thank you very much for being here. This is awesome. Stop Spectra now. I live a half mile from here. Nick from FANG actually has knocked on my door. This is how this started, and we haven't stopped yet. We're not going to stop. The impact is terrible for Burrillville. The animals, the noise, and the hazard to our health risk is unbelievable. We try to get the town to get in this thing. It's a hard town, but we're not going to stop.
Yeah.
What have you got here? We're going on the docket for the 9th of December, Wednesday, so I think this is going to give them a little heads up of what the future's going to be. Yep, to tell them that, you know, this is no little joke, that we want to stop this thing, and it is a hazard from us to all over, from the whole pipeline everywhere in the United States. There's no reason for these big infrastructures to keep building and building. We have enough gas, and that's what we have to tell them. We as people have the right to say what we want to say and to live in a clean environment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cathy. Awesome, thank you, Cathy. And so next we're going to have Tim DeChristopher, who is the co-founder of the Climate Disobedience Center, and he also lives in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming out here today. As she said, my name is Tim DeChristopher, and right now I live in Pawtucket, but I've been a part of the climate movement all over this country. And what I've seen is that all over this country, the fossil fuel industry is expanding in insane ways, putting pipelines everywhere, compressor stations, export facilities, drilling everywhere, mining everywhere. They're bringing their brand of destruction everywhere. I'm originally from West Virginia, where we've been suffering from the oppression of the fossil fuel industry for 150 years. Now that's spreading everywhere in this country. And everywhere the fossil fuel industry goes right now, there are people fighting back against them. Everywhere they try to put their destructive projects, there is a movement that is rising up and fighting back and fighting for a livable future. Because there are more and more people realizing that we can't have any fossil fuel expansion.
That's right.
There is no fossil fuel infrastructure that makes sense right now.
That's right.
Right now our president is over in Paris trying to negotiate a climate treaty. But there's no scenario in which we should still be burning fossil fuels in 2065. And if we're putting in infrastructure right now that has a 50-year lifespan, that means we're still going to be using that infrastructure and paying it off in 50 years. And that doesn't make sense under any climate plan. And all of our politicians who pretend to be climate champions, people like President Obama, people like Governor Raimondo, and people like Senator Whitehouse, they all know that there's no way we should be burning fossil fuels 50 years down the line, which means there's no way we should be having any fossil fuel infrastructure be built anywhere in this country. We should be shutting it down everywhere that it happens. But so far, even our politicians that are the best on climate change, like Senator Whitehouse, aren't taking that kind of stand. They're not taking the action that we need them to be taking for a livable future. And that's why we have to take it. That's why communities everywhere in this country are standing up and fighting back. And why we increasingly have to resort to civil disobedience and direct action to actually put a stop to these destructive projects. Because we don't have a democracy in this country right now. We don't have political leaders that are actually representing our interests and standing up to corporate power. And so we are doing that ourselves. We are becoming the kind of leaders that we need in this country. And we are building the communities to support one another in that work. We are making sure that not only are we standing up and fighting back, but we're having each other's backs while we stand up and fight back against the fossil fuel industry. I'm part of a group called the Climate Disobedience Center. And part of the reason that we started was that we had some experience in civil disobedience around climate change that we wanted to share with folks. But we also saw that there were a lot of other people taking their own actions. A lot of people that had creative ideas everywhere to fight back against the fossil fuel industry. And they needed support. They needed support in the courtroom. They needed support in the public narrative. And they needed their stories to be lifted up. Because everywhere that somebody resists, they inspire others to join that resistance. Everywhere that people take action, they grow the movement. That's what I found in my own action. That's what all the people I work with have found. The core folks in FANG, they're just a small group, and all of them are facing legal repercussions right now. But the actions they've taken have inspired all the rest of us to be out here. They're building the movement. The more risks that they take, the more people that they invite to stand up and join them. That's how we grow this movement. We take bold stands and we support each other, we get each other's backs, and we keep building this movement that is fighting back against the fossil fuel industry and giving us the real future that we need. Thank you all for being part of that movement.
Thank you, Tim. So next we're going to have Nancy, who's organizing up in New York with Resist AIM.
Well, that was a wonderfully hard act to follow. Resist AIM has stepped up because we've exhausted all of the other possibilities. We've gone to a whole alphabet soup of agencies trying to stop this pipeline. We just started with FERC, then we worked our way through the Fish and Wildlife, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, because this pipeline will go 105 feet from critical structures at the Indian Point Nuclear Power Plant, through our state DEC, the EPA, the Army Corps of Engineers, and now FERC has a tolling order, so we can't take this to federal court. They can go ahead and build the pipeline, but we have no legal recourse at this point. So we are stepping up, we're taking action. We've just had 9 people arrested. They were coming through our property with the big tree eating machines, and I sat down in front of a tree and stopped them for a day. If we had 365 people along this pipeline route stopping them for a day, they would miss all of their deadlines. Their stock would collapse even further. We need 365 of you to go out and sit in front of a tree. So we're really, really grateful for our allies from the city, from Sane Energy, who've come up to support us. And I want to turn it over to Patrick, who's going to tell you a little bit about Sane Energy and Resist AIM, which is our umbrella group with SAPE, Stop the Algonquin Pipeline Expansion, and Synergy, Safe Energy Rights Group, and Sane Energy from the city, and we're going to stop this pipeline.
Thank you so much, Nancy. All I'm going to add to that, I'm Patrick, I'm from Sane Energy Project, but I'm here with Resist AIM, and as Nancy mentioned, we've been fighting the expansion of, or we've been fighting the Algonquin pipeline expansion in New York for some time. If you can go to resistaim.wordpress.com, there's a pledge where you can get involved. We really need all the help we can get, so if you're interested in getting involved in the fight in New York, please, please, please come and find either me or Nancy or Jess over here if you want to wave, and just come and talk to us so we can get involved in this. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So next we're going to have Nick. And Nick, as many of you probably know, is one of the co-founders of FANG. He also was born and raised in Rhode Island, contrary to what Spectra might want you to think. But before he comes up to speak, I just want to let everyone know that afterwards we're planning to do a group photo, so just make sure you stick around. And we're also going to have a puppet show at some point, so look forward to that. But thanks, Nick.
Hey everybody. Hey. So I think for most folks here it's your first time in Burrillville. Can any of y'all guess what the biggest protest was in Burrillville before today? How many people showed up? Someone knew the answer. So the biggest protest we've had in Burrillville before today was 12 people. And I think we got more than that today. And first I want to thank Scott, whose home this is, who let us use the property right here. Scott just gave me a thumbs up through his window. And I just want to say, just for myself personally, how appreciative I am for everyone coming here to Burrillville. I've been working with Cathy for 2 years now on this, and the first town council meetings we brought folks out to had 4 people, had 5 people coming out to it. But about a month ago when they proposed the power plant, we had 50 people in the town council. And when the town council meeting was over, we all left en masse and left the town council chambers with nobody in it. So the resistance to this is really growing, and just like from the bottom of my heart, how much personally it means to me, having walked up and down these roads so many times, to have so many people from across the country come out here. I was talking with Cathy earlier. I don't think we ever imagined anything like this, when we first started this. So again, just a deep appreciation and thank you. And then I just want to, if we can be really quiet for just a second, and the sound goes up and down, but we can maybe try to listen for the compressor station sound that's right over there. So if we all be quiet real quick. It's a kind of low rumble. Y'all hear that? Yeah. So that's when it's quiet. At night, some of the residents here, they're home shake because how loud that is. And that's not even with the added turbines. They just added 2 more turbines that aren't activated yet. And then Spectra just came and said that they want to double it a second time. And then the governor said that they want to build a $700 million power plant literally right there.
No way! No way!
And as I said last night, the power plant company said this power plant, this fossil fuel power plant, is going to be good for the climate.
No way!
Bullshit! They say it's going to be good for the town. It's going to clean the town's water. They say it's going to clean the town's air. This is really what they're telling people. But it's going to add the equivalent of 700,000 cars on the road in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. It's going to emit a formaldehyde. It's going to make way more noise than that, right? And the first public hearing for that is in January, in a few weeks. And we want to grow this movement. And this not... Thanks, Megan. So I hope this isn't the first and last time y'all come to Burrillville, but the first of many times. And every time we come back, we're gonna have more folks. And we told Spectra Energy 2 years ago when they started this that we're gonna do everything we could to stop them, and we're gonna hurt their company as much as possible. And I don't think they really believed us, but 67 arrests later, actions across the Northeast, their company is struggling everywhere they go to build pipelines. So I just want to deliver that message to Infinergy, which we've done via Twitter. Maybe we should write them a letter. Just letting them know that if they dare try to build that power plant without the residents' permission, without the people of Rhode Island's permission, that we're going to come back with more and more and more people, and we will stop that power plant. So, that's all I have in terms of that. But in 1 second, what we're going to do is we're going to have a big group photo, and then from there we're going to proceed, which we've done before, to the front of the compressor station entrance and have a roving picket for a few minutes. And after that happens, then we're going to come back here for the puppet show. But we want to demonstrate what that roving picket looks like. And folks, you know, we've done it legally before. We have to keep moving. If a truck comes in and out, you know, they may ask us to move. But that's what my understanding what's going to happen now. The group photo, and then we're going to head to the entrance of the compressor station. Does that sound good?
Yeah! Where will the photo be? Here or there?
Right here, and everyone grab a sign.